Thank you, Brian. Thanks, y'all. It's great to be back at Swerve after all these years. It's great to be back in Austin. Like Brian said, I grew up here, and unless you were at the New World Deli last night, you may or may not know this, but I'm here to tell you that Austin ain't the same these days. It's still a great city, don't get me wrong. I love this place, but it's just not the same city. And that's what this next song is about. And I usually dedicate it to. Does anybody know who Leslie Cochran is? He, well-known transvestite that used to hang out downtown and ran for mayor a couple times. And when he wasn't running for mayor, he sometimes liked to moon the duck boat. So that's Leslie. I feel like he was kind of like the team captain for keeping Austin weird before that was even on the radar. So more power to him. And then I also like to send it out to John Ailey, an old friend of mine, and to Slim Ritchie. Who's gonna moon the duck tour now that Leslie's not around? Well, it's just as we had feared, with all the weirdness leaving town. And when John Ailey signed off on that final show, we lost a piece of Austin that will never quite regrow. Well, the house that I grew up in didn't manage to survive. There's a new house there now with a Porsche out in the drive. And I can't help but wonder, was it really for the best? When I see all these tent cities of the poor and the dispossessed, and Austin ain't the same these days. It's the place that I come from, but Austin ain't the same these days. I'd sure like to go back home, but Austin ain't the same these days. I guess no place really stays the same these days. Well, I first met Clifford Antone back when I was just a kid. Katz's never closed until the day they finally did. I remember Molly Ivins walking the dog in Stacy Park, picking tunes out on the porch with my old friend Gary Clark. Well, you won't hear the Hudsons down at the Waterloo. You won't hear Slim Ritchie, but his mojo is shining through. There's no more Flipnotics, no more Momos or TCs. It seems like every place I used to know has vanished like the breeze. And Austin ain't the same these days. It's the place that I come from, but Austin ain't the same these days. I'd sure like to go back home, but Austin ain't the same these days. I guess no place really stays the same these days. Well, I went downtown and I looked around, and there before my eyes it was a statue of Willie Nelson. Now there's a guy I recognize. And I looked up at Willie. He looked down at me. He said, "Hud, you should have seen this place back in '73. Well, Austin ain't the same these days. It's a place that I come from, but Austin ain't the same these days. I'd sure like to go back home, but Austin ain't the same these days. I guess no place really stays the same these days. These days. Thank you very much. So this next song I'm going to do is called Love is Love. And it's going to be on the record that Brian mentioned. It's called Welcome to Earth. That'll be out early next year, in March, I believe. And I'll just play it for you. Love is love. Big white house, picket fence and 2 or 3 kids. Mom and Dad love each other. Let me tell you, brother, that ain't all love is. You can love your neighbor, you can love your friends. Love till you laugh hard and rolling on the floor. Find the place where your love ends, then extend love just a little bit more. Love is love, and it don't take credit. Won't you take your love and spread it? Hate can't win if we don't let it. Love is love, and don't you forget it. Love your country, you can raise a flag. There's other places need love too. And other people may look different. They all need love like me and you. Love is love, and it don't take credit. Won't you take your love and spread it? Hey, when we don't let it. Love is love, and don't you forget it. Think about love, it's really hot. The more you give love, the more you've got. Find somebody to love you back. Keep on rolling on down the track. Love is love, and it don't take credit. Won't you take your love and spread it? Hate can't win if we don't let it. Love is love, and don't you forget it. Love is love, and don't you forget it. All right. Well, that got a little heavy, maybe. So we're gonna do an old Hudson song for you right now. This is called Styrofoam Cup. And I wrote this. I was sitting out by the river at the McKinney Falls State Park, and I just saw in the distance this little white dot kind of on the horizon coming down the river. I was like, oh, what is that? And as it got closer and closer, I realized it was a cup that somebody had probably thrown away, or, you know, I just tried to imagine like what the story of how that cup got there, and then where it was going and where it was going to end up. So that's how this one came about. Hope y'all like it. And thank you for listening. I'm just a styrofoam cup, making my way down this old river. Gonna follow this old river till it washes out into the big blue sea. Someday you may see me sailing proud and peacefully across the ocean. You can thank the man who tossed me out his window years ago and set me free. It all started out at Sonic. He filled me up with gin and tonic, and we went driving. Brothers, what a ride as we swerved from side to side on down the road. But I knew that I was saved from a life of wasting away in some old landfill. When he rolled his window down, held me out, and then quite calmly let me go. Well, I spent 7 long years just waiting for a break in that old drainage ditch. And I thought for sure that the Lions Club would come for me. That would be the end. But one day there came a rain, and I was off and on my way to find adventure. Just rolling down the river like some polystyrene huckleberry fin. I'm just a styrofoam cup, making my way down this old river. Y'all, I'm gonna follow this old river till it washes out into the big blue sea. And someday you may see me sailing proud and peacefully across the ocean. You can thank the man who tossed me out his window years ago and set me free. Well, I heard about a thing called love, and they say sometimes it can last forever. And I love this land of freedom. I love this river that I call my home. Perhaps someday this thing they call love will somehow bring us all together. If it lasts forever, love will be a lot like styrofoam. Take it home. I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna cross that river. I'm just a styrofoam cup. Thank you very much, everybody.